Pricing differs a great deal between providers, not just in terms of amount, but in terms of structure. And there are kind of three main structures when it comes to pricing for online assessments. One, perhaps most commonly, and certainly most traditional, is you pay per test. Each test that you do has a cost. And to add to the complexity, each test of a particular type may have a very different cost to that of another type. So for example, aptitude tests, verbal, numerical, inductive reasoning tests, are often quite a bit cheaper than behavioral assessments. Personality questionnaires can get very expensive depending on the provider and how it works. Some may even charge per report of a specific test. And if you get the full package, it could be hundreds of pounds for a single candidate to complete a personality questionnaire. Often those assessments are reserved for senior managers, often in a development setting. Whereas ability tests tend to be cheaper on a per unit basis, but are often done in combination. And so if you're using 3 or 4 of them, the prices can rack up. But it depends on the organization and how they work, what they charge. Often there is a disparity there based on time. And so a comprehensive suite of assessments will just inevitably cost you more than a smaller, more concise set of assessments. The alternative, one of the alternatives, is pay per candidate. So you can use any combination of tests. It could be verbal, numerical, logical, personality, situational, mechanical. Doesn't matter. It's a fixed cost per candidate. That has advantages, of course, in that it is much simpler to calculate and forecast. You have 1,000 applicants and you want to test them. Works very well. You can easily predict what that cost would be. And often, with both the pay-as-you-go candidate model and the pay-as-you-go per test model, bulk discounts typically come into play, inevitably. An organization will simply do more for you if you're looking to test thousands of candidates than if you're going to test 1 or 2. And so bulk discounts are almost always a part of the deal. And the pay-per-candidate model works particularly well on that front because it's very easy to do. It's just, I want to test 100, 1,000, 10,000 candidates. And a price will be marked up or down accordingly based on the volume, irrespective of the particular assessments that are going to be used, simplifying things. But of course, if you only plan on using one assessment, that's probably going to cost more than if you went to a provider that offers a per test price and just use that, particularly if it's a particularly cheap assessment you're looking at, like an ability test or something like that. So another thing to bear in mind. And then the final method will be an unlimited use license, 12 months, something like that, where you can just test any number of candidates. That has huge advantages, obviously, for organizations, especially if you're going to be testing in volume, because the price is fixed. You just raise a PO at the beginning, pay it, and that's it. You don't need to worry about overage. You don't need to worry about exceeding. You don't need to worry about tests expiring because you bought too many and the credits used to expire at the end of the year. It is by far the simplest method, once it's done anyway, but then it's very negotiable. Larger organizations will typically have higher fees, and small organizations, that's typically the main way the unlimited use license is priced up. The larger the organization, by proxy, the more testing they're likely to do, the bigger budgets they will have, the more it will cost. And a small organization of 10, 20 people may have a comparatively cheap unlimited use license, even if they're going to test in high volumes. What works best depends on the organization, depends on the assessments that they offer, depends on its size, depends on its estimated volume, depends on the combination of tests that you're looking to use. But when encountering a test provider and before beginning pricing negotiations, it's almost certainly going to be one of those pricing methods. So beforehand, you have a think about what works best for you and then choose a provider which aligns with that model.